news or sports and still stay on. Brown did a great job. He's done Super Bowls and he's been at the top, but has a much greater relationship with the community than Stephen A. Smith. And although I do like Stephen A. Smith, it's just something about him, that subtleness, the calm that he brings to the, to the whole. He lights it up with his calmness and his skill and ability to make the point, get the point, and keep it on and stay on point. I think it's what made him. I mean, he's on record. Some say up to 100 in a year, anywhere 30, 40, easily up to 100 mil, and he may generate from other avenues while simultaneously giving something back. So that's my admiration for Stephen A. Smith. My plug for Saturday. Top of the rising to all of you. You're successful in all your endeavors, especially on this side.
So do you agree with him? The conversation is in regards to him suggesting that all black people should vote Republican just at least one time, but everybody just voted Republican because they voted Democrat and never received anything out of it. That is his case. Do you agree with that?
No, ma'am, I do not, because of my aforementioned statements that all forms of conservatism, in my estimation, is a threat to we people, a threat to black people. They will hold you as long as your value lasts, as long as your utility lasts. They can use you to get to the next level. They have stumped on every conservative that I can mention, including J.C. Watts. As I know, others, they see things quite differently, but I see the GOP not as a friend to we the people. And I am saying that the Democrat in modern times, you have a whole congressional black caucus. Where's your Republican black caucus? And that should be a statement in itself. The Democrats have been much more user-friendly. But you produced a Hakeem Jeffries and easily go and say Judge Al Green of Houston or John Lewis of Atlanta and Alabama. So it's not easy, but I'm looking for my players at the GOP, and they're almost down to zero. They have a few. Of course, Turner at the token position at HUD is about all we can utter at this hour. There was an argument, and that's why I say my.
Okay, my.
Oh, I forgot my last my. Oh, my. This man. But this is a great topic for Saturday.
Hi, hello. Hi, hello.
Okay, Black.
Good.
Hey, Black.
Hey. Good morning, everyone. And
Dr. Ross.
it's too many concrete outcomes. Black folks historically have been socially conservative, but we had to be politically liberal because of, protecting against discrimination and so many other things. Like the tangible outcomes from, these Republican presidents, like from a recession standpoint, 10 out of the last 11 recessions have been under Republicans. And black folks are disproportionately impacted by these layoffs. Black folks get laid off more often when we look at even the lawsuit against Trump and his administration for federal employees. All those layoffs, 75% of them have been black. And there's strong evidence that there's still significant discrimination. Google just had a settlement for $50 million for a discrimination lawsuit. So between that, erasure of black history in our school systems was actually American history. School lunch program pullbacks, to feed the poor in school, which helps everyone out that's poor. And even, federal employment, and that's for a lot of black folks, that's a way to get to the middle class. All this stuff really negatively, disproportionately affects black folks. And a lot of things that black people talk about, even the folks on the stage, is things that really politics don't impact. Whether it's the gay community, which is such a small community, about 5 to 6%, trans less than 1%, as a straight man, that don't have nothing to do with that's already happened in this past less than a year and a half. So it should be obvious. I think a lot of people in these conversations say, "Well, you got bread, does it impact you?" And that really shows their mindset. It really shows their mindset of how they think about this.
Kitover.com. This is the Gary Box.
Unmute. Out.
Hey, Spinoza, how are you? Shalom. Did you want to speak on C?
Not right now.
Well, there you go. Ben has officially checked out, so.
Trey Bowler, bro. Do they still have the balls to
What
go?
y'all do the band today?
Hey, you don't have an A and B selection.
We didn't do anything to him.
What did they do?
No, we did nothing. Nothing. We did nothing.
Oh, you know what it was, Spinoza? They asked you to give them 100 push-ups, and he couldn't deliver. That's what happened.
No, I don't believe that.
You think that nigga can do 100 push-ups?
I do. Ever since we saw the Mondani video. I mean, most people can't do 100 push-ups uninterrupted.
Okay. You think he can? You think he can do 2 sets of 50?
I think so, yeah.
What am I listening to right now?
He says he works out and does push-ups fairly often, so that's not that hard a feat.
Okay, for you, yeah, but
I can't actually hear your audio, so I don't
Way
know
to
what's
believe,
playing right now.
Spinoza. Way to
If you
believe.
show me your screen, play your music.
Huh?
I don't even know that I could.
Hurricane's lying to you, but of course he can.
No. Well, no. I honestly don't. I don't think so. 2 sets of 50, good reps. I'm talking technique. I'm not talking cheating, Spinoza. I'm talking about reps. So I'm not using momentum. I'm talking about real reps. 2 sets of 50. I don't know that I could.
Well, you can do 3 sets of 33.
I have
Plus 1.
I have to cheat to do 2 sets of 50.
Shalom, brother Spinoza. Malaikum, brother Lisa.
Shalom.
Oh, Spinoza deadlifts
Okay.
like, I don't know, 12, 15 pounds or something crazy.
No, that's not true.
Seen it.
He can bench like, I don't know, 550. What? 50 pounds.
I'll take a crack at it. Here's a question for the stage. And then, by the way, I do not agree with Stephen A. Smith. But could his logic be, should black people all vote Republican in an effort to try to teach Dems a lesson? Like, we ain't fucking all. And mind you, yes, this might be to our demise. Should we all say, fuck it, we're gonna not support any Democrat? He said just once. I'm trying to see what his logic is in saying something as crazy as he has said it in the clip that we listened to about 4 times. So that's my 2 cents.
Potentially, the logic is to preserve friendship on both sides or something of that sort. Because it's conservative friends or associates. This guy is potentially with his net worth and with some of the contributions that he makes, he preserves a fairly good relationship on the left, or if you say with Negroes and the Democrat. And then if he makes that statement, that would maintain his relationship with the right wing or the far right or the right wing ultra conservatives. See, the rich man doesn't go to a wealthy man's party when you really study these things. And those bedfellows, like you have a Sean Hannity and a Bill O'Reilly type, or again an extreme, a Michael Levine and a Michael Savage type. And that leaves a kind of mixed menu there that you can still work in that atmosphere. For an example, the Republican Party doesn't have a, say, Michael Steele on board at this time. That's probably the best example you could
You
make.
sure that might be
Actually,
ambassador, please?
possibly, no, I'm old. Because I listened for a long time to be able to contribute. But bottom line, they don't have, okay, a Ron Brown would build a Democrat Party. A Michael Steele would build a Republican Party. Ron Brown is killed and Michael Steele would the exhibition value of that.
Let me think about that, baby.
So, is there anybody that agrees with Stephen A's analysis?
Did he even have?
We did have a few people that was on stage that did agree earlier.
I don't know if they agreed though. They couldn't even stand on business, and that's the part that I wanted to get at. But I want to let Britt go.
I really don't understand, I guess, trying to tease out why a conservative man would tell white people to vote against their best interest by voting for Republicans outside of he's a conservative man who's aiming to get white people to do conservative things. I think that, especially as black people, it's important to look into the fact that there are a lot of black people in the South who live in states that are ran majoritarian by Republicans. And regardless of whether or not these black people vote for the Republican Party, the fact still remains they live in states that are overwhelmingly Republican-led throughout all sectors of government, be it the legislative, executive, or the judicial branches, and all of those states are shitholes. They're all ranked poorly as it relates to education. There are precious few states that have good economic mobility, but outside of that, they're shit. And so the idea that somebody from New York who lives in every state as a conservative is going to tell other white people, regardless of where these black people are, to vote for conservatives, as if there are not clear-cut cases of black people in conservative states being fucked. I think he's just a conservative person trying to carry water for conservatives and saying bullshit that doesn't make any sense logically. That's no theory in material reality. And this idea of punishing Democrats, you're not going to do that. You're just going to punish yourself.
Parts of the conversation about if you think it's a thing where he's trying to punish Democrats, but what I recall from the clip was he was saying he wants that to happen so that both parties have to fight for black people's votes. Both parties know that they have to fight for black people's votes. So that's where I'm trying to kind of collect my confusion and figure out. I don't know if there's so much he's trying to punish the Democratic Party. I don't really think he's trying to do anything because what he's saying is very ridiculous. But I don't know that he's trying to like punish the Democratic Party.
Thanks for that clarity, because I didn't, we did play a few times. I did not catch that.
Yeah.
Right. So you make a valid point.
That was that thing.
But yeah.
I wanted to respond to Jody real quick because, yeah, like they have to fight for your. Oh, who's that? Fight for your vote, like, sir. But you're not making a case for that, and I think that is just playing Russian roulette. We see what that got us now, because some people bought into that narrative. I heard it because Trump said it during the campaign. He said, well, what do you got to lose? They ain't never done nothing for you, so give it a try, kind of thing. Remember that part, Jody?
I remember that part, and the other part that I remember is in his effort to actually start the room earlier on, one of the points that Ben made was that, and I don't want to misrepresent what he said, but it sounded like he was saying a part of part of the reason why this is actually very ridiculous is because Republicans, they don't need the black people's vote to win.
Well, they definitely don't need it now with this redistricting nonsense, discrimination, for sure. I mean, it's not just Black Americans, but Latino Americans have also been hoodwinked. Now they're rounding up their relatives and families and throwing them in ice camps. So they voted overwhelmingly, not overwhelmingly, but Trump carried them as well. So
But
I think the whole issue is
I was gonna say, even if I did take that point, I don't know what Latinos has to do with the clip. I didn't hear Stephen A. Smith address Latino voters in the clip. I didn't hear that anything that
He was just adding on. That's all.
And Trump didn't win Latino voters either. Whatever. This app is insane.
It's okay. Well, we're grateful we have a fact checker.
I know it's okay, but I'm just.
No, I'm saying we're glad, and I'm just saying we're grateful that we have a fact checker. That's all.
You're right, First Lady. Thank you.
Hey, Just Jamal.
hey, happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday.
I hope everybody's brains recovered a little bit. I caught a bit of this morning, but yes.
Are you able to play the clip one more time, sir? Or no?
Yeah, top of the rising to you, your network too.
Thank you, Pastor.
Top of the rising to you and your network. May you always be respectful.
Mr. Ben, are you able to play the clip again? No.
It's trucking off and we'll come.
Yeah, so I came in on the back end of Brit's submission, and I think I'm able to surmise what exactly we're talking about Stephen A. I'm not sure what specifically he said in regards to Black people in the Republican Party, but I'll just reiterate what I said in the chat. I don't know why people think they can with a racist. So there's a case. I think it happened in Georgia recently. I forgot what state it was, where there were a lovely white couple. They harassed this black woman and her child at their home, called them all types of racial slurs, and then they got punished by the court of law. And these are the people that they think we can reason with. But I'm not interested in reasoning with over racist. All that to say, I don't know why I keep asking where are the black folks in the Republican Party, at least on the mainstream side. Where are you at? Or where are you at in office? We see all of them are getting ready to get voted out of office. So I'm just trying to understand: are we okay with not being represented? Is this a part of the bigger strategy to start the party like this? Down more seats, regardless if it's Democratic or Republican. I guess I'll shoot for some transition. Trying to see for some transition.
Kérem, Sokinak Zsuzsanna jegyzi azt, hogy olvassa elő az esti szövegét.
What, the Stephen A. clip? Oh, no, I don't know when the Stephen A. clip happened.
Oh, okay. No, I
saw
was
it last
asking.
week, First Lady.
Okay.
It was after the Calais decision was issued. First Lady.
What? Are you serious?
I think so.
So, First Lady.
Wow.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Since we have people kind of coming in the stage and then into the space, and like I didn't hear this, I jumped in on the back end. What's going on is Stephen A. He had a sit down with Cam Newton. I think it dropped last week, and the clip kind of centers on him saying what he wishes is that for one election, all black people would vote with him. And the reason being, which kind of I opened up to Divine's point a little bit, or what he kind of put to the stage, is that because since 1964, black people have been giving the Democrats their vote, and then he's saying that they just take our vote for granted because of the fact that they just got it already. And then Republicans know that they're not going to get black people's vote, so they don't care about it.
Right.
So that's just for anyone like you who kind of came in a little bit later, that's a bit of a recap of where we're going and why the room is kind of opened up. talking about the curious case of black conservatives. But what I'm kind of wondering, calling the question, First Lady, and others listening, is why wouldn't he say for all people to vote for Democrats?
Well, I think it shows up a position of my research on black conservatives. When you make a statement of that caliber, especially when you guys, then that makes you cool. I'm okay. It gives you the kumbaya flag with the right-wing conservatives say, yeah, well, hey, Stephen's okay. As opposed to a view from Bob Johnson. Say, for an example, Stephen does not really take a position on reparations. Stephen A. Smith does not. You say, well, something has been this. So they will avoid the direct answer. You saw Ban earlier, actually a semi-conservative. What was her views? And so they will not give you a direct answer on the issue, say, of reparations, as opposed to Bob Johnson, who has a few more dollars and makes a lot more sense, says that there are trillions owed in reparations and so forth. So those are the two probably opposing views of people who have money that may take a position, a social political position, more closely aligned with the Democrat. Again, the Democrat has produced a Hakeem Jeffries. You can identify with Hakeem Jeffries. You can see the position of Judge Al Green, and you know what John Lewis was talking about when he said good trouble. So therefore, Stephen is trying to preserve a post for himself on both sides. And then if he can bring them to the conservative posture, then he gets cheers and two snaps on the rewind from the conservative, if you will.
Two quick things, Jordy. I feel like it's because, especially given the idea of, and we want Dems to fight over our vote, and we're always just giving them things without getting anything. I think it's they don't, in their mind, it's a reward. I don't want to reward what I feel like is your bad behavior by telling everybody to vote for you. So if I do something that's completely different and vote and tell everybody to vote en masse the opposite way, you'll have to realize the benefit of me voting for you. And as a child, because to me this is all very much a childish thought, because then after that, once you see that I'm gone and you miss me or you see my value, then you'll come running back to me, and then you will come offering me things and try to fight for me to come back. I think that's probably why. And I also want to dovetail that in, I think just earlier mentioned, where are the mainstream Republicans who are about to get voted out? Just a clip, I want to say a few weeks ago, Lee Hunt on you know, on some, yes, and he was getting interviewed about what does he think about the black Republicans who are voted out, and like, how does he feel about that? He said he didn't give a shit. That did not matter. And for me, this is what Stephen A. Smith you're advocating for. You're advocating for folks to vote your party. When you capture black people who are already over there, don't give a fact that they're all about to get kicked out of the house. Don't give a fuck about the fact that they will no longer be representing constituents, their constituents representing black people on behalf of their own party. They don't give a shit. And so if that's the level to which things are over there, how does that espouse any sort of progressive movement forward for black people? How does that then achieve or benefit us in any material way, where any of the goals that we have for the future or any of the things that we've lost that we might want to try and reclaim, how do we get that with a party that doesn't value its blacks, that its own blacks that are there think to themselves, well, it doesn't matter if we're here or not? Would you stop saying this? What future is that?
A school,
Plays it more like a 76 or a Knicks basketball game if he's calling the shot. But this is our political life. I think would be a gallant statement from a guy like Bob Brown.
Would you stop saying this?
Money Brothers would challenge him, say, well, why don't you, if you believe in that conservatism, then why don't you challenge the GOP to produce a black caucus among the GOP, and then we can have some fair, well-rounded politics as opposed to a lopsided equation in favor of white conservatism.
Thank you. So So, Brett, I can't tell you what it will bring you, but I definitely can tell you that it will not be bringing the wonderful gentleman that thought that they were going to create this tax write-off for men who were, if they taking care of their kids and they paying child support. I think they were supposed to get like this tax write-off or something or another. I think that was some of the things that they were touting. And black men were like, oh, yeah, he's going to do this for us, he's going to do that. Also, with the, if I'm not mistaken, early in the conversation, they said now if you're not paying child support, they might take your passport.
So, First Lady, actually, let me go ahead and let them go. I'll go after. Go.
So, want to take your passport. And I mean, I just want to talk about people buying into things without doing the investigation. Because that's what I'm hearing here. Even though I know I was a part of a lot of spaces where, you know, being educated was given. I just try to understand where's the disconnect in the communication. If someone's challenging you to look at things from a different viewpoint, when do you wake up to look at that thing? Once you're in slavery again? I don't understand that. I really and truly, instead of ignoring it and just want to be whole to what you think you know, but then when the evidence gets pointed out, you want to ignore it over and over and over again. And in this situation, it doesn't seem to be touting that way. I don't know who's off of mute, but
It's ambassador.
they squirming in their chair and listen to Sade.
It's Ambassador.
I got it. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I'm sorry. My finger hit the mic.
Okay, thanks. That helped it. That helped the situation a lot. I'm just sitting up here with two male mods. I'm sitting in the middle, and they've gone to sleep at the wheel. So I just want to say I thank the people that are on stage, and I thank the go. She's be in the conversation because these two knuckleheads, I don't know what's going on. They getting ready for Mother's Day. Ain't that about a monkey? So, yeah, if you guys don't want to stay on this conversation, we don't have to drag it anymore. We can move on, and, have
I'm cool with it. I wish that it was a little bit more productive earlier on with some of the actors that came on stage. But Britt, if you don't mind, going back to the Stephen A. thing and the kind of the notion that it's kind of ultra ridiculous. The clip also goes on to, well, he reveals that the motivation behind his take as childish and ridiculous is because of the fact that he perceives that the black people are the only community in this country that don't have representation. And so it just strikes me as really, really odd that his suggestion for all black people to vote Republican would be a mechanism to increase representation. A hard time connecting the dots.
Jordy, did he? Oh, I'm sorry. We about to say something, Britt.
You can go first, and then I'll go back to what Jordy.
No, I was wondering, did Stephen, because I only saw the clip on Instagram or something, I didn't watch the interview. Did he expound on, did he go further after he said that Democrats, we should do this so that Democrats fight for our vote?
No, that's what he implied that both parties, he said that both parties should, because the Democrats have 90% in the pocket, they don't have to do anything. And so, because Cam didn't, anyway, I don't need to go on. Yeah, he did. It was like 10 seconds. It's the thing you've heard many times before.
So did Cam ask, okay, so do you expect us to, like the scenario?
No,
Huh?
I'll just tell you what he asked. No, because the question is not the question was, do you worry that your political takes will hurt your career? And then he went on about how he's doing great and he's the shit. That's exactly how it went.
That's so fucking stupid.
That's what I'm saying. That was the point. Like, that's why it's actually hard to have a conversation with a black conservative for more than 10 minutes on substantive issues. Listen to banging and you're on a plantation and I call them a coon, or they call you a slave and you call them. They actually cannot have a substantive conversation because they don't have any values, or political values.
Right.
Outside of the gay stuff, outside of a couple of things, but your mama don't like me talking to Brian. But at least if I talk to Brian, we can get a couple citations. We can actually have a conversation. Did you hear the conversation with the black conservatives this morning in Misa's room? Absolutely insane.
No, I don't go in there.
They said the reason why the Supreme Court got rid of the Voting Rights Act is because it was a temporary stopgap to deal with overt racism. But since we'll always have racism, getting rid of it was honoring the civil rights activists of the 60s who were fighting for it.
Who the fuck said that?
Anthony, and other black
Oh,
conservatives.
okay, that makes sense.
And they never read the Voting Rights Act.
I will give Anthony that. At least he conceded to not read Article 2 of the Voting Rights Act, so he really didn't know the context of why it happened. But yeah, that was their rationale. And that's kind of where I always just jump off the conversation, because we can get off of the fighting for the vote thing. So okay, I'll meet you halfway and be okay, let's make them fight for the vote. So when you look at everything that the Republicans are espousing today politically, do you think that things that black people prioritize, do you think it's even in the wheelhouse of things that we can get them to concede on? Almost all the things that I hear black people want is almost antithetical to everything that the Republican Party currently stands on. So it's just how are we going to get our small pocket of people to shift an entire party's political position on the issue because we make a mass migration? It doesn't make sense. So it only makes sense to go with the party who's closer in proximity to your views and work your way there, as opposed to going to the complete opposite side and trying to get them to concede on that issue. For example, the whole reparations thing. Reparations, we know at face value is a redistribution of wealth. The Republicans don't believe in that concept to begin with. So when you're trying to have a conversation about reparations, you think you're gonna get the Republicans to give black people reparations? Absolutely not.
I mean, the odd thing is that Stephen A. Smith and people that say that, so if every black person, let's say it goes 90-10 the other way, that probably gives Republicans, I haven't done the math, but I'm going to guess anywhere from 63 to 73 Senate seats. Might be more. You give them massive majorities. Y'all worried about the SAVE Act? Imagine what Republicans would have with 70-some Senate seats. 80-seat majority in the House, 70-seat majority in the House. And then you think that the elections are going to be fair coming back for Democrats to then fight for it? That doesn't even make any sense. But it's because Stephen A. Smith doesn't know politics and it's just rhetoric. And people do a contrarian thing to make themselves seem smart. So that's it.
Yeah, that's why I asked you, did he expound, or did Cam ask a follow-up question? If we just take this to its conclusion, there's no dimension. If we vote for J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio in the next election, that we have a better time than we're having now. We'd be completely fucked.
Yeah, that's because they only think about the political side, because that's where the fun and the money is. They don't think about policy. So why would anybody, given what the Republicans are doing now, inform policy? This is the Republican foreign policy, an Iran war. Why do black people get the foreign policy? That just makes no sense. Because they're not thinking like that. Stephen A. Smith said he got all this money. Stephen A. Smith doesn't realize he's a beneficiary of the very civil rights infrastructure that conservatives are knocking down every day. He thinks the black version of Stephen A. Smith was making $100 million over 5 years. What world do these people live in? I don't know, man. I mean, it's honest.
Here's the question. Do you think that it was a genuine paper that was printed?
What's the difference?
That's a good question.
Yeah, what's the difference between lying and grifting? Ain't no fucking difference according to these motherfuckers.
If you're saying from the people in the previous room,
I mean, not to say there's
I think it's
not
very
any.
genuine.
It's the same thing, is what I'm saying.
Celebrities, I believe.
Hello?
Okay, thank you. And
I think it's a mix. Well, I think it's a mixture of. Well, I think it's a mixture of both.
I'm not talking about Anthony or man, child. I'm
Man,
talking about Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, if okay, well, Stephen A. I think it's both. I think it's genuine, and I think it's a grift. I think he genuinely feels that way, and I think he also knows it's gonna make money for him, so he's gonna lean into it. But I do think those are his genuine thoughts. It's unfortunate that those are his genuine thoughts, but I believe those are his thoughts.
I hear you. I just think it's weird because if you kind of analyze it and see this is when he feels they're the ones that really, like in the industry of the voting rights sector.
Like this shit. They're buying into it. And then you don't even think about the damage that it's causing. Because I don't think when he's saying this, he's thinking about the negative downside of it. I think he's only looking at his pockets. That's
Tell me the grift.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But why does it matter that it might be a grift? I don't understand why people. Why does that matter?
Well, I mean, some people just like to talk to other points of the conversation outside of why it matters to whomever.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, but why does it matter to people that it's a grift? Why does it matter that? Why do they care about the person's innermost intentions when the impact of what the person is saying is easy to see?
Take me a mind real quick, because I'm about to kick Hurricane out.
Why?
So you got me blocked out my own fucking house?
No.
Yeah, you do.
It's a mistake. I don't use this account a lot, so.
You better fix it.
So listen, my other account, for some reason I can't get in this one. I don't know why. Ever since the glitch of
Fix
today,
it.
I fixed it, Patty. Relax.
What's going on?
Jesus.
Patty trying to play with me.
No, I'm not playing with you. You're playing with me.
Tell
You better
Paul,
figure it out.
Tell Paul and Rohan to fix Clubhouse.
But to answer your question, Hurricane, I think, at least for me, I like to know whether or not someone is being genuine or if it's a grift solely because that lets me know how much effort I put into like unpacking the intentions of the conversation. Like, is there a bridge to be built here? Because if I know you're grifting, I just know there's no point in me engaging because I know you're just doing this for a money play, and your intentions could. So at that point, it's like, okay, why are we having a conversation when I know you're just doing this to make money off of what you're saying, or you're doing it for the attention, the views, the clicks, the likes, whatever the case may be, as opposed to, okay, if you genuinely feel this way, let's figure out why you genuinely feel this way, and then there might be a way for me to shift your perspective just a little bit.
And to add on to that, because
both of them are taxing, but I think there is more fruit in engaging somebody who genuinely feels that way, as opposed to somebody I know for a fact is just grifting.
That's a good explanation. Go ahead, Jordan.
I don't know that the line between the two is so clear.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of how some people have their own way of viewing things. So I can understand, where Justice is coming from, because some people will not engage in a conversation any further or take what that person is saying because they know that this person doesn't understand the depth and understand that this is just bullcrap. So instead of me wasting my time having a conversation with you about it so that you can continuously further your views, especially if you're not going to listen to the opposing side, then the grift conversation matters. It's just like, man, you're just doing this for clicks, for money,
beyond, oh, you just thought he was making money. So I think that it's a helpful, having the understanding is helpful in just getting an understanding of where someone like him or any black conservative really, really stands.
Yeah, because you can peer into somebody's mind and ascertain exactly what's motivating them. Every single thing motivating them to do something, you can peer into somebody's mind and see.
No, maybe not, but that would be the point of having the conversation.
Exactly. So it doesn't really matter if it's a grift or not, because you can talk to the person and have the person tell you in real time what's motivating the person. You can listen to them state their reasons explicitly, or you can draw inferences based on what they tell you. The whole grift thing to me just seems like a lazy way to dismiss what somebody's saying. We can take the time to talk to the people and find out why they feel how they feel. Or, if we're curious, we can just ask questions. We can analyze what they're saying so that we can learn more about them and their influence. The whole grift thing, it's sloganeering, really. That's what it is to me. It doesn't help.
Well, it's nice to know that you feel that way, but maybe that's why you're not asking for the distinction.
Please, I asked for the distinction, but one wasn't given that was persuasive to me.
Oh, well, I'm sorry that you've been disappointed by the level of persuasion.
I'm not disappointed. It's fine.
I just have one comment on the whole thing with the grifting versus sincerity conversation. I earnestly don't care either which way, right? Because if your if your thoughts are uninformed and are, nonsensical to me, then that's what they are. I think the only difference is that within in a meta sense of things, somebody who has sincerely held beliefs that for whatever inferences you're able to make, you're able to ascertain that, hey, this is sincere, you're just sincerely an idiot, versus if you grift and if at every turn you are changing your stance, changing your opinions, changing everything in effort to be in the right, in effort to win the conversation, in effort to get a dollar, get a dime, monetize whatever, then you're just a money hungry idiot. Either which way, you're still an idiot to me. It's just a difference in, at a very meta level, what your perceived motivations are.
I hear you, Britt. If that's the case, then what's interesting is like, if it's the grift thing and they're an idiot, then the sloganeering is they're a grifter, and then if it's the other way, then they're just another type of idiot, but you're still writing them off and sloganeering them in that direction anyway. So.
Oh yeah, to be clear, I want to, in going with what Hurricane says, I'm going to write it off. You will be written off. The sloganeering, it's already there. You already said it.
I hear you. Yeah.
Me taking the next step to be meta and then trying to figure out where your motivations are and all that other shit. To me, the asking the questions to figure out why you think that way, that to me is for me is why are you doing that? What does that even matter? You're not changing their minds, you're not changing their hearts. They said what they said and they meant it. Y'all had very sincere conversations with certain individuals on this app, and they have agreed with y'all stances when y'all get down to the corner of why they think that the way that they think or whatever, and then they come back and they double down on the same bullshit the next day, and they get kicked out of the room and blocked for a few days, and then they come back on their bullshit, right? So their motivations for saying what they say, it doesn't matter. That's who they are.
So, Jordy, I'm looking at Stephen A. Smith's YouTube.
Draft an African American aid reparations contract for Black Americans to sign. Term $75K to accept complete and total personal responsibility. To denounce grifting, race hustling promotions, and forever to stop complaining about
What he
racism.
has to say.
Right.
He has a lot more influence over the American public than I do.
Right.
Why does it matter why he says the shit that he says? He has a lot of people listening to him. So he has the potential to mislead large groups of people. It doesn't matter why he says it. If he's helping results, black people should vote for the Republican Party one time. He is wreaking havoc on our community.
So we're aligned. We're aligned on that. Yeah.
Whether he's grifting, whether he sincerely believes it, none of that stuff matters. Intent for trying to prove criminal liability or civil liability. But if we're just talking about people using their public platforms to mislead people or to lead people in the right direction, what matters is the impact of what they say and do, not the motivation behind what they say or do.
Yeah, we're aligned there. Maybe I don't know if there was any misunderstanding that I thought that it mattered why he's saying what he's saying if it ultimately leads to the same destruction. Me just posing the question of if it was just a grift, is because I kind of just look at it as if Stephen A. Smith is going on and saying this, he's like, if he's just doing this for money, I don't know that it really helps me understand the curious case of black conservative, which is what the room initially started out as. The title had changed, but we were trying to talk in that direction, and there were people who came up on stage, I guess they're black conservatives, and it was hard to get answers out of them. So all I was saying is that if it's the likes of somebody who was a grifter and their baseless viewpoints, they don't make any sense, but they don't even believe in it, they couldn't even attempt to provide any understanding. You made the point before, if you want to understand, you can ask people questions, but if it's the likes of a grifter, you couldn't really even ask them questions to get an understanding of like where are you coming from. So that's why I posed the question.
There are people who believe things deeply who don't understand why they believe what they believe.
That's true.
Stephen A.
That was the greatest projection I've ever heard on the app. Again, great projection. There are people in this world who believe things so deeply they don't even understand why they believe them.
Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Peace to the queens.
I think Stephen A. actually gets a bad rap there. I don't really see any black person that gets to the top of their field get any kudos from our community, and it's really weird. I don't know why. Like, does he have some? I don't really agree with. Yeah, that's true. But like, I just think that like, damn if he do, damn if he don't. You know, and I like for a bigger like thing with me is like, why is the people that rise amongst us, why are they ostracized so much? Like, why do we turn on them so much? That's so concerning to me. Like, they gotta be perfect. Like, any black person that achieves has to be perfect, or we just destroy it. Like, we are cancel culture. Like, black people's cancel culture. So,
Hurricane, you can deal with it. I don't feel it.
no, so to be fair, you know, I am an effete homosexual. I'm not. I'm an effete homosexual. Okay.
No, they don't know. They Googling right now.
I'm not like Ben, so I'm not good at engaging with nigga Bible. I've never been. I can't do it. So I don't know. Nigga Bible in the country. Brooklyn, you wanna
Listen, I can't.
Go ahead first.
That wasn't. It was Brett, but
when you say you're a deep homosexual, that means like being disrespectful is like.
No, that's not what he's saying. That's not what he's saying. I know that.
Call me a nigga.
No, he didn't call you a nigga. He said what you were doing was nigga babble. So if I can finish talking without you interrupting me as if I don't matter, that would be great. I think yeah. Shut up.
Got it.
I said what I said. What the fuck are you gonna do about it? And you got disrespected. And you got disrespected. I'll tell her right after I tell you. I'll tell you first though. No, I'll tell you first though. So anyway, I do not understand this idea that black people are out here canceling celebrities or the in quotations the elites when they are multimillionaires who, to tell you the truth, they wipe their ass with all of this boo-hooing that we're doing in the room, like this conversation is not going to cancel a Stephen A. Smith. It's not going to broadly impact a Stephen A. Smith. Nobody has done anything or said anything that overall would be harmful to the profile or denigrated Stephen A. Smith. So to come into the space and act like because people are being critical of the words that this man is putting into the political atmosphere with very little political education and offering it as a solution to systemic harms without broader thought as to what then happens after that and how black people could be broadly more negatively impacted. People talking about that and having criticisms or critiques of that is not them then canceling that man and then not up and it's not a level and it doesn't rise to this thought of and we're not engaging in celebrity worship. I do not know what's going on in the community, but I'm about to have to put my celebrities down and put the pop culture bag down and get into a y'all are worshiping these people as false idols bag on and put my kufi hat on and get real disrespectful because I don't know what's going on.
That's another great projection. I do not know what's going on.
I think he obviously someone's personal success in harming the collective of the black community. Like you see Clarence Thomas and shit. You know, he's a Supreme Court justice, but he has really fucked us up. Like,
Oh Lord.
so when we look at Smith, especially when it comes to potential young voters, people on the fence, people who are uneducated, which typically end up being conservatives. That's a statistic.
Conservatives are uneducated.
You know, what's already happened set us back decades,
Mm-hmm.
millennia. So, yeah, it's
a microphone.
One second.
That just this last year and a half has had, you know, whether it's the civil rights rollback, the voting rights rollback, whether the recession, which disproportionately affects black folks, the government layoffs, which was 75% black folks. And a lot of these jobs are some people's, you know, halfway to middle class. Like, okay, and erasure of black history, which is actually American history. Free lunch programs for
Free lunch? Baby, we're trying to get you reparations. That's $75,000.
What's up, brother?
Hello,
You
brother?
don't get it.
Brother, get it, brother.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never listened to nothing he said other than talk sports. Like I've never cared about anything he said. Like I've never in my life like heard him talk about politics and it influenced anything I think one way or the other. And I think that is a bigger issue than him talking about politics. The fact is, who's listening to him? Like I don't understand why is he even like looked at to even speak on politics. So like I get what you're saying. I just don't know like.
Oh, so you haven't seen him? You haven't seen him on the political stages?
Yes, but like my point I'm saying is like I never listened to him. Like I never
Okay.
like because
But that's you. Then that's you, which is good. But there are other people that might look at him. Like he talks sports and he talks politics. Some people are into that. So I understand that you don't, but some people do.
So you say that because he's on television, right? Like so you say
I'm saying that because it's true.
No, I'm saying like what I'm saying is like you're saying because he got a broad platform that what he says hold more weight.
Not with me. I don't put any of these people on a pedestal. I think they're a red ass.
People talk about Kanye, I'm like,
exactly. But between you and I'm telling you that there are people that exist outside of the way you and I think.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. That's the
People exist outside of the way that in your solipsistic world?
Yeah, because it's dangerous. You know, to do these things, and then when people go and do it, then, you know, it's even worse.
It is worse.
And if you have a platform that it's really stupid.
Hello?
Yeah. I'm so, go
Hello?
So, Captain, one of the problems with Stephen A. Smith's recent remarks about the Voting Rights Act is
No.
given the size
Oh,
of the
God,
He's known
these,
for
Chicago flip red, gotta flip them red.
I spoke to a Jewish man. That is the same thing he said his issue with Kyrie Irving was. He said the same thing you're saying right now.
Yeah.
I understand now. I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
He told me that Jewish people as a whole didn't have a problem with what Kyrie Irving said. He said, but it's only 14 million of us worldwide. And Kyrie Irving has a platform of about 18, 19 million. And he was like, yo, we just concerned that if I walk out a random gym, people won't just start busting people, hitting Jewish people upside the head or just randomly attacking us because that he posted that.
Okay.
So, like, I understand you a little bit better now.
Yeah, but let's try to get even more understanding. One of the problems last year during the election was low voter turnout. There were people who simply chose to sit out. And many of those people who chose to sit out sat out because they said both parties are the same. The Democratic Party has done nothing for us. You guys say the Republican
You agree
Party
with that?
is fair. Let me finish, sir. You people say the Republican Party is bad, but as far as we're concerned, the two parties are the same. So we're not going to vote at all. That was a big problem. And arguments like the ones made by Stephen A. Smith recently only support that false, dangerous narrative about the two parties being the same, not being different, being alike, not being deserving of our support. When the truth is that although both parties aren't perfect, one party has done significantly more to protect black people and to help them for a very long time. That's what the facts show. So I'm not making stuff up. I'm just talking about the facts. So if we have a black person with a large platform lying about the facts, we have a problem.
I can understand. I understand what you're saying now. It makes a lot more sense now. I don't like entertainers talking about politics either. I just don't listen to them. But I can understand what you're saying.
I appreciate that. That is what I call effective communication. Thank you for that, brothers. Hey, Mr. Sadley, how you doing?
First lady, I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
I am in the at least federally speaking, I'm in the camp of not both parties are the same. I think one is openly hostile toward blacks, and I think that one is inept. I think that Republicans are openly hostile, and I think that there's are inept, federally speaking. That is my opinion. I don't think they fight hard enough, and I think that when they get power, they squander the opportunity for pushing through their legislation by trying to be as honest and play by the rules, but the rules have changed and they have not adapted to the rule changes. That is my oversimplified version of federal politics. Federally speaking, I still vote locally, and I'm still very much involved locally and state.
Democrats pushed more federal legislation, in the first 2 years of Biden than Trump has in his 6 years. The idea that Democrats don't, I'm not saying you have to like the legislation, but we can just look at facts. I don't understand why people just refuse to look at facts. It's just untrue. They did massive reconciliation bills and bipartisan bills. They went by the change rules. In fact, Democrats are the ones that changed the filibuster rule first. It wasn't Republicans. It was actually Harry Reid on federal judges. But what do I know?
Oh, Finley, did you vote in the last presidential election? And if so, who did you vote for?
I don't vote. I've not voted in a federal election since Obama.
The first Obama?
The second one.
Okay, so after the second election, you sat out since.
Federally speaking, yes.
Right, the election that led to the 3 Supreme Court justices that we all said, including Hillary Clinton, would do things like getting rid of the Voting Rights Act. That's the election he sat out in 2016, where Trump got to a point. There was actually a Supreme Court justice that was waiting because the court was 4-4. So yes, that's the one hurricane. He just told you the Democrats are inept. They don't get things through. So he decided to sit out so that, and others like him, so that Trump could appoint these 3 people. And then when Trump does it, they act like they're against it. When it was people like him who were sitting out that allowed for Hillary Clinton to lose because the Voting Rights Act, affirmative action, child tax credit, lead pipe remediation, heirs property is stuff that black people seem to want and like. That didn't matter to them. That's the election. Yes, that's the one he said.
Yeah, shame the buyer. Yeah, shame the buyer. I didn't care for Hillary as a candidate, so shame the buyer. Yeah.
Right, he didn't care about, that's right. He didn't care that Hillary was going to be gone and we'd be dealing with voting rights cases because of 2013. He's a lobbyist, so he knows this better than I.
Former.
Well, you were lobbyist at the time, weren't you?
Yeah, well,
Lobbyists during Trump. How old did we Shelby County? So, I want a matrix.
transition done.
Okay. So anyway, yes, he didn't like Hillary, but he forgot about appointing Supreme Court justices were on the table. So even though Hillary would be long gone by now, even if she got reelected, her justices would be there, and we wouldn't have Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh, and John Gorsuch. That's Mr. Finley's legacy, because that's Trump's legacy. So we might not like Hillary, but we might like the justices that she put in. I don't know, but maybe Mr. Finley's against affirmative action. Affirmative action was upheld until Trump's people came in. So it's really that simple. Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, and Barrett are Trump's legacy. Trump will be dead and gone. But he knows that because he was a successful and important lobbyist.
I'm sorry I lost the election for us. I apologize in advance.
Yes, I know.
In red Florida, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but see, you apologizing, but you just came in standing on old 10.
I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Well, what you being sarcastic about?
Because Goat is laying at my feet.
Well, either you got it right or you didn't get it right. So
he's laying at my feet the Hillary defeat in
I'm laying
red
at
Florida.
people like you. It's not just people in Florida. Did Obama win Florida?
Obama did win Florida. We've not been blue.
And so maybe because people like you stopped voting.
They voted the other way. Florida went
Exactly.
Trump. Florida went Trump. I don't think there was less turnout.
Of course
I don't think there was less turnout.
You don't think
Let me
there
look
was
and
less
see.
turnout in 2016?
Let me look and see.
In Florida, the Florida turnout was less turnout.
Ben, question for
I'm not answering any questions.
okay. I recall that Obama did win Florida, but it was not by much. So I have to ask the question, did that voter turnout of the people that did show up to vote for him to win that state made a difference? And are they the same people that would stay home in the next election and the other elections after that? Emily, that would be a question for you.
Hold on one second. I'm looking up the turnout numbers. Obama versus Trump 2016.
And by the way, I didn't say just in Florida. I said people like you from the country who submitted like you. The legacy is not standing.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What I'm saying. You blame the buyers, right? For being short-sighted.
And they weren't the buyers, they were the creators. I think you had the analogy backwards. We actually
They didn't want to vote for the candidate because they didn't buy into the candidate. They were short-sighted. And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of being short-sighted.
Woke up this morning,
So that's why we didn't vote.
talking
Or
about
rather,
the
that's
court.
why I didn't vote. I can't speak for the other 100 million.
But you said you haven't voted since, and you saw what the
In
court-
federal elections, I haven't voted in federal elections since. No.
I know that. That's what we're talking about. Federal.
I think the point here is that if you fucked up the first time, and then you saw how Trump was able to submit the Supreme Court in the way that he did, it did not inspire you to then return to voting in federal elections and voting for Biden or voting in the Biden election as well as voting in this past election with Trump and Kamala Harris.
Breaking news. Mr. put it in the chat. Hillary Clinton lost by 1.2%. So yeah, actually Florida does matter. Sorry, Britt, I just saw it in the chat and confirmed it. Mr. is exactly right. Hillary Clinton had 4.5 million, 1.617. She only lost by 1.2%. You aren't quite. Yes, you contribute quite literally.
My fault.
I know.
My fault.
You don't actually care about black people. It's phony.
No, I don't care about black people. No, absolutely do not.
Because your legacy is the one that got rid of the things black people. Like as a voter, we each have legacies, right?
This is that tactic that Dems do, and they try to shame the
What's
voter.
the tactic?
And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's not going to inspire
I'm a black man. I'm talking about this black man.
It's not going to. Well, you're taking
I'm
on
not going
the.
to inspire you. Pseudo.
You're taking on the. Yeah, you're doing that shaming language. You're trying to shame.
F words.
You're trying to do the shaming tactics that people do. It's not going to move. It's not going to move.
Voting Rights
It's not
Act.
going to move. It's not going to move me.
You're not ashamed that the country got rid of the Voting Rights Act?
It's not going to move me. It's not going to move me. Go.
Right. So you don't care. I
Nope,
agree.
nope, I don't care. You're right. I don't care. I don't care.
I know. Good
They
job.
we can all go back to slavery as far as I'm concerned.
I know. That's what you want to be because you're a special Negro because you think you fly airplanes and you wouldn't be out on the plantation.
Well, wait a
I
minute.
am.
Hold still, Mr. Finley, hold still. What about this conversation do you feel, or that has been said, that you think that someone's trying to condemn you? Help me understand that.
It's
make
the
that
same.
clear.
It's the language. Listen.
Just be clear. What was said
I'm making it clear.
specifically.
He's a little bit.
All of the hold on, I'm outside my Wi-Fi. It's the same language of because you failed to vote, all of these things lay at your feet. They're all your fault. When I fell under the same
Okay, so that is that it?
That's it.
Is that the part that you being condemned?
Everything is thrown at my feet.
Okay, 1 second, and you have a problem with that. So then, when we actually get the statistics, and if the statistics show that to be true, then we just shouldn't say it, even though it is a truth. We should just not have the conversation about it, versus you making a wiser decision moving forward. Is that what you're saying? We should just stay in our ignorance?
Listen, if I fail to see the long-term goal
It will never be
because
enough
of my
to
failure
document
to
and
support a
inform voters
candidate
upon
that didn't
It
that
will
didn't
require
get me
local
to
or
put a check
federal law
next to their
enforcement
name,
as judges,
that
jurors,
somehow
and
falls on my feet.
anti-constitution politicians.
That's crazy. That's ludicrous.
This guy was a
Answer my
lobbyist. He doesn't
question.
know about Supreme Court picks. It's insane.
I think
You didn't answer my question.
he's not going to answer the question.
Oh, no, Sherry, just 1 second. Why are you choosing not to answer my question? Is it because you don't want to deal with the truth? Help me understand.
I'm saying I
You
disagree.
keep putting everything in a pot. I asked you a question. I'm going to repeat it again. I'm asking you if, in fact, I can show you the statistics to show that when people don't vote,
I'm aware that
This-
I'm aware of the consequences of not voting.
okay.
I'm aware of that. Right.
Okay.
And again, I admit to being short-sighted. I have no problem, acquiescing to my faults, right? But to lay it at the voters' feet, right? When and again, I can be short-sighted just like anybody else can. I understand that I was in DC and kind of felt nauseated and got blind to the game. Yeah, fine.
Lay it at their feet.
Shoot me.
So then where should they lay
Shoot me
it
for that.
at?
Shoot
So then
me
where
for
should
that.
they lay it?
To the party.
If
To
you
the party.
understand, so you understand it, but to what party?
Listen, this falls at the feet of the Dems for
So the
sucking
Dems were
at
promising to
for sucking at getting their voters out. Party. At the end of the day, that's who I put the fault at.
So if the Democrats are saying, you guys care about X, Y, and Z, and if the other guy wins and we don't win, you're going to lose X, Y, and Z, or they're going to do X, Y, and Z. And if we win, we're going to do A, B, and C to care about certain things actually do care about those things because they extract themselves from federal elections, and then people win federal elections. They go against the things that they say they want from the feds, and they still don't vote against the people that do it. It's really that simple. And so people need to be, maybe voters need to be more honest about what it is they want. So, of course, we all know about Merrick Garland.
Hands off to him. He'll be one of the greatest presidents in.
It's going to be fine for it. And they want to have fine for it. Whether you like Hillary Clinton or not, you knew who Donald Trump was going to put on the court because he released the list. All the people who were against the basic civil rights infrastructure. They were more like a leader. They were against all the kinds of things that they care about. If they don't care about it, then they just stop acting like they care about it. That's why the Voting Rights Act, for me, I'm upset with the old heads because the old heads they care about. But for people like, that don't care, they don't care about it. And that's what I think the Democrats need to do. I'm going to be honest with you, they probably should move on. They probably should move on because that doesn't seem to be what people care about. It's probably that simple.
And
I think it's very
right?
lazy. I think it's very lazy, Mr. Finley, for you to just say, well, I'm laying at the Dems' feet because of the fact that they didn't motivate you enough to get out and vote. However, you hear what the other side is opposing and what they want to do and what their ideas are. But yet still, instead of voting against it, right, you want to sit there and say, oh, well, the Democrats ain't getting me to come out and vote at all for them. That's very odd for a man your age. I'm telling you. I did it for younger people. But for your age, no, that's, well,
But again,
you're over 30, right?
if it was as simple as messaging, if it was just as simple as messaging, why do candidates matter? If there's just a message, right? And also, since we're on this, I don't care. I guess I don't care about unions because I shopped at Walmart, even though I'm a union member. I guess I don't care about child labor because I wear Nikes and fast fashion. I don't care.
I mean, that's kind of, so what that is that's so many logical fallacies and a red herring that my head spun. So if you're in a system whereby you can't get rid of certain things, well, to be fair, you don't have to shop at Walmart. So perhaps your care for unions is not as strong as you might think it is if you decide to do that. That's a different discussion. But the point was, on the Supreme Court, and you said you worked in D.C., and I take you for your word. If you knew that the Democrat, would you rather have a Democrat or a Republican appoint somebody, and they've been appointing them young, they're going to be there for 30, 40 years. The Republicans appoint Clarence Thomas. I don't understand. So because they didn't say exactly what you wanted, or because Hillary Clinton had a bad pantsuit and a nasty laugh, you know what? I don't like Hillary Clinton, so we end up with Clarence Thomas. So be it. That suggests to me that you actually don't mind having Clarence Thomas. That's where I am personally. I think we have to stop presuming people care about the things they say they care about. That's what I've learned on being on the internet, on this app and others for the last couple of years, is when people say they care about stuff, I don't think they actually care about it. Because I don't care if Hillary Clinton came to my porch and shat on it, took the shit and rubbed it all over my beautiful home. Well, I'm on welfare. I don't have a home. I apologize. All over my Section 8 that I get food stamps in. Knowing who was on Donald Trump's Supreme Court list was reason enough to vote for Hillary Clinton. That list was insane. Look, people say they care about the fight of black people. Voting Rights Act, effectively gone. Affirmative action, effectively gone. Organizing rights, effectively gone. The prison rights, ahead, they're not going to weigh at those. So, we didn't like Hillary Clinton, so here we are. Here we are. So you care more about the candidate in their campaign than the outcomes for our children and grandchildren.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, like most Americans, I apologize.
Most Americans.
It is most Americans.
And
Most
the attitude
most
suggests to
Americans-
me that
most
you
Americans
can't
don't-
actually have a good faith conversation.
Most
You
Americans,
normally speak to people who are dumb.
most
You
Americans,
can't have a good faith conversation.
most Americans are not when they vote. And again, I'm not immune to being short-sighted. Most Americans when they vote, are not thinking 8 steps ahead. Most Americans, when they vote, are thinking in the moment. And
Conservatives are.
I fell into that same foolishness.
So you were a lobbyist?
And I admit, yeah, I was thinking about getting the federal transportation appropriations done and getting the hell out of DC. That was my mindset when I was
So
there.
what were you thinking about in 2016?
That's what I was thinking about.
For the election.
I wasn't thinking about the federal election. I had grown so sick of my environment, I just want to get my job done and get the hell out of there. I was thinking of my next phase in life, honestly.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Okay, so you decided that you were, yes.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud, Sherry. You can say what you want.
I mean, so you decided that you got frustrated and you just grabbed your marbles and you went home and you just didn't give a damn. Because you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't care. And the thing about it is, and here's the thing with me, it doesn't matter what candidate, whether I like them or not. I'm not going home with these people. I'm not sleeping with these people. They're not going to pay my, yes. I am a voter. It is my right to vote. And my responsibility as a voter is to make sure I do so. Whether I'm frustrated or not. Who gives a damn if you have some personal beef, some non-existent personal beef, or perceived personal beef? You just decided to walk away, and for that you are responsible. You are responsible for your own actions. And don't turn around and say you're correct and being sarcastic, because I don't want to hear that nonsense. Did it? You, among others, decided to sit home because you didn't give a damn.
So should I go in my room and be a punishment, or what's the next
I
step?
told you, Sherry, it's not where he's just an ass.
It's not worth it. I just said what I said. I said what I said. That's it.
People that
Yeah.
know what they don't know stuff. He'll sit there and educate them, be the smart guy, whatever. He finally found a room with some learned Negroes who actually know a thing or two. So the way he gets out of conversations is through sarcasm.
No, it's not me getting out of the conversation.
I'm taking the Sherry, bro.
What other response should I have? I don't understand what other response should I have.
You literally just said, I go in my room and cry. That's clearly sarcasm.
No, I said should I go in my room and be on punishment because I'm being told
That's clearly sarcasm.
I'm being told this is my fault. I was short-sighted. I acquiesced to me being short-sighted. I said yes, I was short-sighted. I admit it. I admit that I was wrong. I said yes, I was short-sighted. I admitted that I didn't think.
He's an admitter.
I admitted that I was being selfish in the moment. Which all being honest, by the way. Being honest. I'm being honest. But that's not enough. I have to still be browbeat for my poor choice.
Okay, so now you're flipping it on us, but let me.
No. Listen.
I'll let you speak.
If you don't acquiesce and let you speak, will he acquiesce and let you speak?
So I let you speak. Just let me just say this, because the flip back is simple. Had you came in here with that mindset versus us having to, have this conversation to bring the tension about, and just had the conversation and listening, and then saying, you didn't even have to admit to it, but the fight that you put up, it was the fight that God is here, that people. What? I said, okay, one second. So, all I have to say, I gotta go because the dog wants a treat, I think you have to take into consideration that now you're frustrated because you feel as though people are saying, well, we're landing at your feet. Yeah, because you weren't taking accountability for it. But then, when I'm speaking to you, you're like, yeah, well, I understand that. But before I broke that down, you were fighting against it as if it wasn't your fault. You know what I mean? So it was like you just had constant pushback, whereas we had to get through the pushback. And we can move forward in the conversation if you want to have the conversation. And that's where Ben is coming from. And say, well, clearly you don't want to have the conversation because you're using this particular thing as a tactic. That's all.
I'm just trying to figure out
We don't have to browbeat. We don't have to browbeat.
I'm saying I'm just trying to figure out what's the conversation. I was short-sighted. I made a poor choice. And you're going to repeat the justification of my poor choice?
No, we know the reason why you don't vote for Democrats.
I didn't say I didn't vote for Democrats. Or you said. I That's just not true. But
Do you
that's
support
just
gay
not true.
marriage?
Yes.
Support gay
Why
marriage?
wouldn't I?
No, you don't. You're a bigot. Let me continue.
I'm a bigot.
Yeah, you're anti-gay. You think Dems have moved too far on
All right,
gay
don't
rights?
call them names. Let's
So now you're just gonna
heard him speak before.
You never heard me say that.
Gay, he's anti-gay marriage.
Listen, you have never heard me say that.
I have. Everybody
No,
else.
respectfully, I've never said that.
Respectfully, when that's not.
I've never said that.
You have
That's
not
not
been
the best
respectful to us.
Then
I
that's
have been respectful.
What you
I have
saying?
been respectful.
Before. No, you haven't.
I have been respectful. That's not. I'm not being disrespectful.
You've been dismissing us. You've
I'm
been
not.
dismissing us, and you keep you.
In
know what?
any event, I am not going to blatantly lie on anybody on this stage. And so, I ask respectfully.
I got you wrong.
Don't say.
I apologize.
Yeah, you definitely got me wrong. I've never said that, though. I've never said that.
So you're pro-union. You're pro-Voting Rights Act. You're pro-work labor. You believe in gay marriage and all of that. All of that has to be at the federal level and upheld by the Supreme Court. And yet you still didn't vote for Democrats and won't going forward at the federal level.
Yep.
Doesn't sound like, so that doesn't mean, so how could you be pro-labor? So this is one that's really strange. Take the other ones away. I don't understand how anybody who could be pro-labor in particular would not vote for them. That's the one that the Republicans are hammering on the most through the courts, whether it's the Aspen case or other cases. They have effectively, slowly from Reagan on, gotten rid of labor. I don't know how anybody, whether you like Hillary Clinton, that would be, if I was pro-labor guy, I would be vote blue no matter who, because of that. You didn't vote for Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. They had the most pro-labor bill since FDR got held up in the Senate. I would imagine if I was what's called the PRO Act. Whatever, that's fine. I don't, whatever. Y'all can go. This is my last day anyway. Y'all good.
We have broken the goat. The goat is going back to the mountain to feed on the shrubbery on the sides of the mountain.
The conservatives have never made a move, not 1 inch, towards we the people. I guess the Congressional Black Caucus is proof and evidence that at least they could get the blood from a turnip with the Democrat Party. And those in the conservative, I think they have to impress somebody. And I think that's where I think we lose.
I'm trying to impress somebody. I'm trying to impress somebody. Trying to impress somebody.
At least you may find somebody amongst the Democrats that's flexible enough to, as Barack Hussein Obama said, that you can get some things done. That you can get absolutely nothing done with a GOP. Especially a Negro Republican that's trying to name for himself, he will get absolutely zero done. From this observing Washington, again from Truman Eisenhower to this hour, I have not seen any flexibility in the black ultra conservative. Where I land my plane now. On the point next to yours, J.C. Watts, one of his fellow Republicans, is saying, my. If you can find him, sir.
Hello? 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 Hello?
There's been no bigger assault on labor in our lifetime, on some of our lifetime, until after Reagan, than the Trump administration. He ran 3 times, and someone who calls himself pro-labor did not vote against that. And you're talking about not being long-sighted or long-term. That's short-sighted. That was right in front of you. You had the most pro-labor FTC in our lifetime in the last administration. It literally has nothing to do with what the Democrats do. There is a thing that has happened to black men in America, and I'm speaking to black men in particular. It's not a lot, but it has happened, where for Democrats, you're less of a man. That manliness is not voting for Democrats because of the women.
Who the fuck is you?
And the steers. That is, okay, never mind. I'm done. That's it.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I can't do it. I'm done. I can't do it no more. I'm done. I'm done. No more. I'm done talking. Woo.
Not purposefully, I said something and he yielded, but he can get it back if he needs it.
Oh, no, please. One mic on your desk.
Yes, one mic on me and First Lady and the politically correct. So that I have a show called Think Tank Thursdays, and one of the major questions that came out of Think Tank Thursdays last Thursday was who done the most damage? Was it George Prescott Bush, the first Bush won by appointing Clarence Thomas and sacrificing Anita Hill, or Donald John Trump with the 3 or 4 conservatives in the person of John Roberts and Kavanaugh, etc. Who has done the most damage to we the people? And so I would ask that pertinent question of this audience: who's done the most damage? First Bush won, George Prescott Bush, ex-CIA Vice President Reagan became president, and then the latest fiasco injustice, Donald John Trump, with the appointment of Roberts and Kavanaugh. I'll land my plane just on the facts as you know them to be, as always.
It's George. Okay, you've been doing this now, Ambassador, for several days. It's George Herbert Walker Bush. George Prescott Bush was the granddaddy. Was never president, Ambassador. You've been doing, so if you're gonna do your show, please at least get the names right so people know what you're talking about.
My error.
Bush. Okay, go ahead, Ambassador.
Yes, my reason for my error. I know George Herbert Walker Bush Jr., the president, and I've used Prescott to point out the first Bush is Herbert Walker. That'll clear me up. Is Herbert Walker his middle name?
I
Bush
thought
one.
Prescott was little baby Bush, the Texas land commissioner.
His daddy is Prescott.
Prescott was the grandfather who sold the fucking parts to war
But
to the Nazis.
You're absolutely right.
Prescott is also the young blood that was a Texas land commissioner. Also,
Okay.
he was named after his grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Those names are used to
Great grandfather.
So just stop you.
Or great grandfather. My bad.
But I want to get the right correction. That's where my question is. Which
Herbert Walker and then his daddy. And then George W. Those are the two. Herbert Walker and then W.
What's his W? The junior W for?
Walker.
He's a Walker too. Okay. I can feel it. Move those names around slightly, but to maintain the conservative position, as opposed to Jeb Bush again ran against them. This will be sworn enemies between Trump and Jeb Bush from Florida and Texas, but they're one and the same with it. Because you don't watch what they say, watch how they vote. And Jeb Bush and Trump will vote the same. They will argue all day and vote the same, saying, my. And against you and the Civil Rights or the Voters Act or any other act.
Wait, somebody else was about to say something too.
I hope I wasn't too long-winded.
Somebody else, please. Anybody.
Your mama, were you gonna say something?
No.
Oh, it's break? Okay.
I was just going to try and get us back to somewhere without focusing on someone specifically. I think I have two things. Like, this conversation has just further cemented to me why, at this point in time, voters are liars, the electorate are liars. I cannot believe a word that they say, and I will blame them for the choices that they make, because at this point, I do think that it's not even just being short-sighted or having foresight. It's just as simple as, like, you want very specific. Take, for instance, this last election. It was the economy was the alleged reason why people voted for that man. It was that gas was too high. The price of eggs and meat are high. The price of gas has skyrocketed. It was cheaper for me to buy gas under Joe Biden than it has been this entire year, just about. In particular, these past few months. In fact, literally a week ago, price of gas jumped again in the state that I. Shut up, please. No. Get out. That's disrespectful. I'm sorry, but no, I'm talking. Be quiet. Thank you. So yeah, price of gas has risen. The items in the economy that people were so worried about that they said he was going to fix, or that they, in quotations, believed he was going to fix, he didn't fix. I can't sit over here and say, well, you were tricked, you didn't see all the things when y'all voted for him in 26, or you set out and watched him win in 2016, and he did the same type of fuck up. At some point, these people say the things that they support because it sounds good, because in theory, being pro-labor makes sense. In theory, being pro all of these things, being pro-Voter Rights Act, it makes sense. But in practice, there is no practice. In actual practice, none of those things matter, because I think I'm agreeing with Van on this point, and I think I'm starting to get a certain level of what do the kids call it, appalled about it. I'm really starting to believe that these people's material conditions do not change when all of these things fall apart. And so they don't care that the economy is going to shit. They do not care that they're getting their rights taken away, because to them, their life has not changed in any material way. So none of those things matter.
So, Britt, from my knowledge, in the beginning you said this conversation. You mean Mr. Finley, right?
No. I will say that I think even with the earlier conversation with the people who were speaking poorly to the Stephen A. clip, that man who could not say who after it was mentioned the three things Democrats did positively in the last 30 years, that man then pivoted and said none of those things matter, or none of those things meet the criteria. Like shit like that, pilled. I can't. You're lying. They're lying. That's all you know how to do is lie. You cannot tell the truth.
Thank you.
Oh, let me just clear. Norm, before you were kicked out the other day, you said I was an anti-Semite. Can you give me the three things that I did that make me anti-Semitic?
You addressing me again?
Yeah. You said before you got kicked
Oh
out.
man, I don't remember our conversations of the other day. I don't think of you as an anti-Semite. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
That's fair. That's fair. When you called me that, I was surprised. Anybody? Thank you. Anybody else want to?
I think you're thinking of somebody else, to be accurate.
You literally said.
You have no shortage of flaws, but anti-Semite is not one of them.
And do you have a shortage of flaws?
Yours.
Huh?
Slightly shorter than
Well,
yours.
you've had 40 years on me to improve them.
I'm sure you'd like to. See, there's one of your flaws right there. I'm sure you'd like to believe that.
Yeah.
And if it makes you feel better to believe that, go right on ahead. There's no charge.
How old are you? I'll tell you how old I am. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, so now you're lying. So the other day before.
Heavens to Betsy. Well, thank God you would never do such a thing.
I got you. So you said that I was an anti-Semite.
You still want? No, I never said that. And it's not the case. No, you're full of shit.
Okay, so if I play
You may
back.
be a liar, but you're not an anti-Semite.
Okay.
Hold on.
Who called us all anti-Semite?
One second. Hold on, Brooklyn, you're not even involved, girl. What's going on? So hold on. The other day when you got kicked out.
What do? You get bored, and then you lose an argument, and then you kick somebody out, and then you make up stuff. Like, this is your life now?
So
You want to match your wits against me and lose every time and then kick me out? Like,
So
think of something better to do, man.
well, I'm working on my book.
Okay.
So I'm doing editing
But
right
that's
now.
a worthwhile thing to do.
I know, so I'm doing this to pass the time. What are you doing? What are you doing at the time?
I'm cooking breakfast for my son.
Cool. So you're cooking breakfast for your son.
Uh-huh.
Are you in Hawaii?
Why?
Because it's 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. I'm was asking about the 4 p.m. That's all.
What would you like to know about 4 p.m.?
Who eats breakfast at 4 p.m.?
Some people like to eat breakfast in the afternoon. Is that a problem for you?
I didn't say it was. I was just asking.
Oh, well, why? No, I don't know. You seem to be doubling down on breakfast in the afternoon.
We got people. Hold on a second. We got people. I gotta close the stage. You guys gotta close the stage. You got all these. All right, cool. No, that's okay. But when you said the other day, I was surprised. We can move on. We don't have to.
Not my position. I think you either misheard, you have me confused.
So a lot of, but it's okay.
Oh, really? Did you poll them or something?
I can. Was anybody in here? One second. Was anybody in here?
Yeah, what were the circumstances?
I can tell you what the circumstances were.
Yeah.
We were going back and forth.
Yeah.
Because I'm speaking. What you're doing it now? What are you doing?
You know what? You're just trying to be annoying. You're succeeding. Is this all you have to do with your time is be annoying?
I said I'm editing
Ask
something.
him a question. He's trying to answer it.
What, you want to ask me what? What do you want to ask me?
Oh wow, he's mocking me for saying axe.
Haven't you engaged in Norm before?
He just mocked you for saying axe.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
Uh-oh, not mockery.
But why would you mock her? She wasn't involved.
I'm asking if you've ever had a sane conversation with Norm.
Sure, if you're saying you get things
Every once in a while, he's saying.
All right, so I'm not sure why I'm being overtalked.
My apologies for
But, yeah, it's rude. And somebody's, okay, so El Normo,
Yeah.
he's asking you a question. I mean, he's speaking.
And you want to
Wait,
answer another dozen times?
What's wrong? Okay, so if you're not gonna have a conversation, then
We had the conversation. You want to have it again? Is it you're that bored?
okay. All right. Well, have a good day, because I'm not gonna go.
It's a great day.
And I want you to have
too.
a perfect one.
I want you to do as well.
Happy Mother's Day, because you're definitely acting like you're on your period today. I don't know what crawled in your cereal, and I don't know who pissed in it, but whoever did it, that's who you should be mad with. I don't know if you didn't get a chance to sleep with one of your ladies last night, but I didn't wake up with you this morning. So please, there's no need to be rude to me. I am not being rude to you, sir. It's no need for that. And I'm not going to deal with it on this wonderful Sunday, especially Mother's Day weekend. How dare you speak to me in such a way? I will not tolerate it, sir. I'm just not going to do it. Because I will call 911 on your ass. Okay?
Not Karen.
Yes. I'm going to get very Karenish. Because clearly,
You're getting a lot of money
I know.
today, and then when you blocked Crazy Guy the other day, you get money, girl.
Stop counting my coins. What's going on?
Listen, I'm your accountant over here.
No.
I'm watching for you.
So that's the reason why I really crashed, y'all, because everybody was trying to get that money out. But anyway, so what's the conversation? Where are we? Britt was saying something, and then everything kind of went to hell. Yeah. You know, I don't have to put it. I don't. Yeah. Go ahead.
So what I was saying, as far as Britt, she was saying she doesn't really believe voters when they say they want a thing. And I think that's probably true, which is why I think the Democratic Party should really stop doing the outreach that it does to black voters. I know people will disagree, but they probably should stop. I mean, they should do the normal thing. They should not do anything. I'm not saying they shouldn't outreach at all. I mean, they should just, we don't need the black. Maybe they should stop Black Democrats Associations. Maybe they should stop having black caucuses. They should stop all types of stuff.
But that sounds very.
Are you being real?
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's beg for it though.
I get it, but is that beneficial? To me, saying that sounds just like Stephen A. Smith telling everybody to vote Republican.
You're saying that we'll get more if they act like they don't want us?
No, he's just saying don't waste your energy on them because they stupid, and all they do is sit there and complain and then try to put it back on the Dem. So instead of trying to chase their vote, go and get somebody else's vote. Well, at least that's how I understand it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the movie says get rid of Black History Month. Why not? Why have black politicians? What benefit do black politicians get out of commemorating moments or personages in African American history at this point? In fact, all they get out of it is negative. Um, they're called panderers and everything else. Look, he's like, it's the shortest month. It's the shortest month because it was a week. And it was the week where Lincoln and Frederick Douglass were a black man started. It's not because it didn't start as a month, the movie. Just stop. But anyway, why not? What benefit did they get? They gave the old people the Kente cloths. The CBC, I think it was, told them to do the kneel. They did it. Nancy Pelosi still gets mocked to this day. Just stop. I mean, ain't gonna be no CBC this time next year anyway. They have the members. So what's the point? This at the federal level.
Is this a
I
real
really think-
conversation or you're just kidding? You just kidding?
No, the gerrymandering.
Never mind, bro.
No, I'm just
Lisa, the gerrymandering. Remember, the gerrymandering is getting rid of the black seats.
24 hours about it. We were up for 24 hours talking about gerrymandering. As far as like getting rid of Black history and things like that, I celebrate. That was my question. Are we just kidding? Somebody wrote it in the chat. That's what he was responding to.
Oh, okay. Because
He
I won't
said
have
the movie. The movie was wrote it in the chat.
Okay, the movie. I don't see what you would write. I guess you're kidding the movie because it's just more and more of us just laying down. I mean, well, let's just forget everything. Half the time, the kids don't even know what you're fucking talking about anyway when you try to talk to them about what our ancestors went through. Aside from talking about slavery, we have so much more to talk about.
That's because y'all don't racially socialize your children anymore.
And if I may, Dan, when I get a chance, if you can let me respond.
I can't even respond, so you can take
Is that the movie?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sweetheart. I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the phone. I don't know your voice, so if you could just explain. And I'm not trying to cut people off. I'm just trying to get clarity of what you were saying.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't want to interrupt y'all. You know, there's been a lot of people interrupting each other. That's why I just made my points in the chat or whatever. There's actually 2 points to it. I don't know if y'all are familiar when Morgan Freeman had an interview with a reporter, and he was Jewish, and he asked the reporter, "Why you don't have a Jewish holiday?" And he says, "I don't want one." He says, "I don't either." Well, I know about Hanukkah, but we're talking about like how they do Black History Month, and that's what Morgan
They
Freeman
have
was
Jewish
saying.
History Month. They celebrate it at the White House.
Oh.
And then they have Seder dinners and special dinners for Jews at the White House. Donald Trump just did it, the guy you like, and Mark Levin came up and called him the first Jewish president. But
Well, I've heard that. I've
just
heard
go
that.
off and tell us how Jewish people don't get celebrated.
Right. Well, no. I was just speaking on this specific interview, and Morgan Freeman, he asked, "Well, how do you get rid of racism?" He says, "Just stop. Don't bring it up."
You're right.
No, I'm not saying it'll work. What I'm saying is just opinions can be infiltrated. It's just like they have an experiment called the black doll, white doll, and they gave the children a white doll and a black doll. Which one looks better? The white doll. It's just like the Ash experiment. These experiments been going on, just like you had the syphilis thing with the Tuskegee Airmen, and Bill Clinton I think he apologized for it in '96 or 2000. I can't remember when he apologized for the experiment. I'm saying all that to say, I remember the days if you voted, it was nobody's business. Now, if you like a candidate better than the other one, you're a racist. You just want him. All I did was look at 2 snakes, because all of them are snakes, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's just like when I went to court one time, my defense attorney's over there having lunch with the prosecutor. So all of them work together. My problem with it is, it's just like when we have a difference of opinion, oh, now you're racist. And in Memphis, they have a black Republican woman that's finna beat out this gay white man who's been there 20 years. And nobody speaks of that. It's just like if you have a black Republican, then they're not black. And I don't understand. Okay,
10 more. I only need 10 more. I'm sorry that I get a time limit like cards, but also like when the school. You're right. The school I went to, like Hiring Rebels, the first president of Alcorn State. He was one of the first black Republicans representing HBs. I land my plane.
Oh, okay. So I just want to go back. You said people call you racist.
No, ma'am, I didn't say that.
What was the racist part? You said the people say that you're racist if you vote a certain way. You didn't say
I
that?
didn't say that at all. I said I said they disagree with you. I never said. I said get rid of racism by stop talking about you combine 2 points together. No, I
You
never
didn't say
said
that?
No, ma'am.
Oh wow. Yes, you
Okay.
did.
I'm sure this room will be recorded, and if y'all gonna bring up that clip, I never said you were racist by being a Republican and just because.
No, that's not what I just said.
No, you said
I
people
said
accused.
Yeah, you said people are accused of being racist if they vote a certain way.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I did. Yeah, you're accused. I thought you said people. I thought you was just saying people or no, if you go, like, if I wore a MAGA hat somewhere, oh, you like that racist man, and you should be ashamed of yourself. People get
Okay, but
down.
that's different than calling you a racist versus saying that he's a racist, right?
No, I would, okay, listen, ma'am, listen very
I'm
carefully.
just trying
If
to
I wear a MAGA hat, on here,
Yeah.
I will be accused of being racist, liking a racist president in the general stand. That's not my full thinking of. I just watching people get abused if they choose to be with, like the gentleman said, Van said, oh, I know that's the guy you like. It's not that I like, it's just that I preferred him over that woman that was Montel Williams' side chick.
Okay,
I don't trust her.
There you go. There's no
That is the fact, though. She was Montel
listen to me.
Williams'
So,
side
but
chick.
what does that matter?
Man, that means you're not capable.
Don't you have a pass?
You wish you could be somebody's side.
Well, it's just like the Democratic guy that has.
Excuse me, sir. I let you speak uninterrupted. I let you speak.
No, you didn't. You gave me a time clock.
But before the time clock, were you not speaking uninterrupted?
Go ahead with your.
Listen to movie. Listen, I'm not
Go
falling
ahead
for
with
that.
your what?
I don't do the bang bang chicken wing thing. Okay, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, and I'm trying to understand the crux of your argument because a lot of times what I hear is when people are trying to defend their points, they have all these anecdotal experiences, and then they just go. They just go and they flood it all out, and then they just pour it and dump it at your feet. But when we start picking it apart and we start really looking and dissecting specifically in the areas that you're speaking in, then that's when the tables turn because then they get frustrated. Not saying you, I'm just saying some people that I speak with, they get frustrated in the process when we start breaking it down. So you said about the people calling you a thing, okay? So
Can you ask me a specific question, like Van said? Can you ask me a specific question that I can answer?
Misa, M-I-S-A.
Misa's hot mic because I'm not here.
no.
I don't mind at all, and if you ask me a specific question and give me a chance to respond, I will.
Okay, so why did you say there was no Jewish History Month?
Well, based on the information I've got, I don't hear either like where I've been across the world, and I don't hear about like Jewish month like I hear about Black History Month, and they keep flooding it down your throat.
Are you black?
I'm considered black.
Okay. Are you Jewish?
No, sir. I think I might have Jewish in me, but I don't know. No, sir.
Are you Asian American, Pacific Islander?
Well, my dad is from South America, so I have West Indies in me.
Is it Asian or Asian Pacific Islander?
No.
Okay, cool. So maybe one reason why you don't hear about certain things is because you don't belong to those groups. And some of those groups are very, very small part of the population. I think the Jewish population is less than 2%. And they're really clustered in certain parts of the country. So there's been a federal are you there? Okay. Listen, that's all I'm saying. We're at a point now where, for whatever reason, trying to do things, if it's not exactly what people want, it actually works against you. I think they should stop trying to do things. That was my point.
And also, I want to say this real quick. I paused for a second, and I did look up something. I just really quick Googling. They go off a Jewish calendar, and since it's like me trying to figure out the Quran if I never read it, and it's like Ishmael and Isaac. They're two different religions. Sir?
I'm talking about the federal government. They recognized it by Congress in 2000.
Right, and I was just asking like ChatGPT or Google, what exact month is it? And they just kept saying it's like Ramadan. They don't have like February. Like what month is it? November? Is it?
It's May. I told you, it's May. I've said it 3 times.
Oh, it's the month of May. I didn't hear you say it.
Yes,
My apologies. My apologies. I didn't hear you.
It's okay, Jamovi. Let me put it in a language you'll understand. It's
Please.
in wunderschönen. 1 second. I'll put it in English. In wunderschönen Monat Mai. How about that? In wunderschönen Monat Mai. I'll put it in German for you. I know that you know German.
That's funny. I have more Portuguese than French. I mean, no German.
Pause. Okay. So it's in May. So, and it means in all due respect, why as a man would you listen to Morgan Freeman?
But again, it was a great
I hadn't
interview.
finished the question.
Okay.
I hadn't finished the question. Why? You know what? My question doesn't matter. Go ahead, say what you want.
No, I don't idolize or look at. I just intrigued by great interviews, and I'm glad you said that because with our community. Yeah, I thought it was between Morgan Freeman. I can't think of the NBC anchor. He's very good. I think he's from Dateline. It has some very good questions. It's about 10 or 15 years old. It's not something that happened yesterday.
Oh, we've seen
But-
that. We just don't.
Okay, but what I was gonna say too. Not to go ahead and finish if you wanted to.
No, I said we're from your interview.
Okay. Yeah, and I just thought, but see, I was going to say that's the problem with our community, or if you want to say black community, because I don't really attach to African American. I think that's a made-up word, maybe by Al Sharpton or somebody. And we work colored.
Stop
Well,
with the side note.
I just know we were
Stop
black.
with the side note.
Well, okay. Well, yes, ma'am. I didn't know somebody.
Just trying to follow what you're saying. If
So
you could just.
my point is, I saw where a lot of people we look to celebrities, and I don't agree because you don't hear about us talking about a Ben Carson or a Clarence Thomas. We always go like even if you take whatever her name is, Harris, she had to go get Megan Thee Stallion to shake her ass. Like we look for celebrities. We don't look for like a Condoleezza Rice or Colin Powell. Those are all so-called Uncle Toms or something in the media that I grew up in. It's just like when they had rainwater and all that bullshit. So I just look at, we use celebrities as an anchorage, as you're like who they got, not Little Kim, what's her name, Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. One is Democrat, the other one is with the Republican. They hate.
What about Amber Rose?
Amber Rose, I think what side is she on? I mean, that's what I'm saying. We use this.
The Republican side.
Okay.
But
what I'm saying is, hold on, let me.
Okay, go ahead.
20 more seconds. 20 more seconds.
This is
Yes,
a man
please.
who started with Morgan Freeman, but he gonna lecture us on.
That's my point.
One
Wait, hold on. Can I get 20 more seconds? I was saying those are celebrities. I just said that one particular interview brought up some great points. Now, moving forward, we view celebrities for everything. Lil Wayne is on things to listen to. When I'm saying, why don't we listen to a Ben Carson, a Clarence Thomas speaking? A Colin Powell, a Condoleezza Rice? Why do we don't use these people in our vocabulary? I think Bayan made a great point. 10 more seconds. He made a good point. He said earlier when we were looking towards, I can't remember, entertainment more. I just can't remember exactly his point. But my whole thing is we look for the entertainment purposes, like a Dick Gregory or something. Malcolm X said it best.
I think
We look to entertainers. Well, I'll land my plane. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You ain't
Oh,
I
you're
think
more than
you're
welcome.
into the entertainers. That's why your name is the movie.
That's very funny. I just like the
And-
name because that's what I am.
and-
The movie.
And really, really.
I like your intellectual insults though.
God.
Yeah, I love those intellectual
All
insults.
right, you got 2 minutes uninterrupted now. Do the same. Be quiet. Go on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be long. So really, golly, I lost my train of thought.
Democrats don't have one.
One of the things I wanted to say, was, I mean, a lot of what he's saying just reminds me, and the things that I've been having all day is that I'm just very concerned about the fact that we American people seem to really be kind of just going off vibes a lot lately. And even as, you know, okay, he was getting information, Van's telling him, oh, okay, there is a Jewish History Month. He's so busy actually going on Google trying to disprove him that he didn't even hear a whole bunch of other stuff and then came back like, and people, that's the other thing that concerns me is that people think they're getting educated off of, you know, off of ChatGPT now. They think that, oh, they just have access to all the information in the world. They don't know how to process it. When somebody actually is telling you the answer, you can't even listen because you're just so ready to disprove it. You don't want to believe it. You just want to go off your vibes. That's a problem. And I don't know how the Democratic Party does move forward when people just want to go off vibes. Do they just start lying? Would that help? I don't know.
That man wrote in the chat, Democrats want men as force. He is such an idiot.
They don't? Are you saying they don't? Are you saying they don't? Because this proves they
Let
voted
somebody else speak
against
first. Give us like 2 minutes of other people for a second.
I'm just saying, I didn't know that Dick Gregory was entertainment. I love to learn something new every damn day on this.
He was a comedian, girl.
He's a comedian, but when he's not being funny, he's not being funny. It's like, I'm not going to just look at him as a comedian. He is so much more than that. That's my point.
Yeah, he's definitely an activist, but he does fall in the realm of entertainment. Like, not that his you know, he didn't make a valuable impact, but he's definitely an entertainer.
I don't think people.
But we don't have to reduce. Yeah, we don't have to reduce him to just entertainment. I think that with the broader.
Well, I think there's entertainer and there's just entertainer. Because I don't think being an entertainer is reductionist at all. I can't be an entertainer.
In the sense that he needs it. Understand though, in the sense that he is speaking of that type of performance. He put Dick Gregory in the same entertainment lineup as Megan Thee Stallion. That's what I'm trying to make sure that we're not reducing him to that. That's insane.
So the Morgan Freeman thing I always find funny because Morgan Freeman does black movies for black people. Morgan Freeman is so disingenuous. That clip is 20-some years old. So disingenuous and so fake. This is a man who was humming Negro spirituals in glory and went around the country promoting it ding, 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 during Black History Month. This is a man who got rich not from doing white movies or American movies, but from being a black guy in black movies. And that's what's so frustrating about Morgan Freeman. When he started out on the stage, he was doing special black plays for black audiences in Black February. It's so phony. But again, why does having a month commemorating and remembering parts of history for people who had been excluded from curriculum, why is that offensive, especially to black people? That's what I can't get my mind around it. I would think more knowledge is better. I never hear the people complaining about having a Black History Month knowing much black history. Morgan Freeman doesn't know any black history. I don't know. It's just a strange thing.
They teach the same thing everyone over and over. Eli Whitney and Malcolm had a dream. It's over and over repetitive. They don't teach us about Malcolm X, at least not down south. I had to learn that on my own. They didn't teach me about Fred Hampton. I had to learn that on my own where they killed that young man in his sleep. And it wasn't a white man, it was another black man. And the Democrat
the Democratic Party was against. They the one. I mean, you look at the history of the Democratic Party.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
did you go to college to move in?
does it matter if I did? Yes, I went to college.
What did you study?
General studies.
Your major, you got a bachelor's degree in.
I just told you I didn't graduate.
That's what they give you when you've been there a long time and you.
Well, see, the problem
you
is
failed out in a
educated,
major,
educated
and they
single
just want
black
to go ahead and
women.
give you a degree
They
so
know
you can
everything.
get out of there.
4 black women were in charge of Black Lives Matter and got caught with fries, and they were all gay. Yeah, we understand a liberal black single woman probably got a cat at home.
Am I lying in the movie? That's what it is.
Yeah, I just think this movie is the refund. I have a college in my backyard. College don't make me smart.
Okay, it doesn't, but that's just the
College
truth.
don't make me smart.
Listen,
y'all.
There's a lot of educated dummies out there.
the movie, your voice is amplified, right?
I'm from the country, I know.
Come on. Stop responding every time. Just let the lady finish, man. Come on, bro.
I'm not gonna talk about your southern accent, any of that, cause I can get real southern right along with you. I'm just saying that it's super loud, and then some of the things that you're saying at a loud tone is going to cause this conversation to crash. So if you would, just be mindful of that for this conversation, okay? But let's move the mic around because we're just sticking on one person. I understand you want to be in the movie. That's the reason why you call yourself the movie. I get it. You want to create a movie. You want to be on the clip. I understand. But today is not the day. Go ahead, carry on.
So I think actually, to be fair to him, because I actually think even though he's inarticulate and largely uninformed about what he's saying, he actually represents a segment of the populace that, because of their participation or lack thereof, is why we are where we are.
Mm-hmm.
And so rather than just put it to the side, I'd rather try to pull out something productive. And I heard something he said that was interesting. He said down here, we didn't learn about Fred Hampton and Malcolm X. Well, up here we did. So my question becomes, movie, why didn't the Republicans who run southern states allow you guys to learn about Malcolm X? They learned about him in the Midwest where he's from. Malcolm X is from Nebraska, works his way up to Michigan. He's in East Lansing, I believe it was, then finds himself in Boston, then of course in Harlem. How come they didn't tell you about Fred Hampton down there? Every kid in Chicago knows about that. How come they didn't tell you about Frederick Douglass wasn't just a pacifist, but used to beat people's ass when he was on the road, even when the garrison. I learned that in Baltimore. So the question becomes, whether they move past them, I don't know whether they went to college or not.
I can answer when you get through.
Okay, so let me ask the question. Why, if we should be Republicans and conservatives, as you're saying, why are they keeping black history away from black people where most black people live, which is the South? Go ahead, sir.
Okay, first of all, first point of order is, I'm gonna try to lower my voice. Maybe my microphone is pretty loud.
It is a little loud.
Excuse me for that. Is that a little bit better?
It is. You just have a good mic. It's not you. You just have a good mic.
Okay, like I live in a Republican state. Mississippi, we all know it gets 3 electoral votes. Whatever. This is a very poor state.
It gets more than that, but keep going.
Well, 5. I'm not trying to be politically correct on it. 6. It's not 10. Can we agree on that?
You can just say 5, but go ahead.
Right, whatever it is below 10. It's very limited. It's very limited. That's my point. I like people that like that's always on point. That's great. Okay. Yes, the state is Republican, but where I live in Claiborne County, the schools